walking back to his trailer, and we went through this kid's yard, and this kid was on a skateboard.
Oh, God.
And
No. Chris, I was a different person. I was a troubled youth.
We were kids, dude. Yo, this is Musicians Forced to Podcast. Here we are again, Forced to Podcast. Here we are again with Chris Lorash. I am Brandon. Hugh Sullivan back there behind the camera. He's always doing all the technical shit.
When I was young, we used to go to my uncle's house in Long Creek, and they always had tons of fireworks. They'd grill out, we'd have food, and then we'd start blowing off stuff. But in the evening, I was too young to participate in the adult time of the fireworks, the real shit. So my uncle had this box made out of chicken wire and wood. The box was the wood, and then the chicken wire was covered it. And they stuffed nothing but pop bottle rockets in whatever direction they'd go in.
Oh, hell
and
yeah.
He said he put 4 gross in there one time. I don't remember.
You keep going. I got a story.
But he kept them all stuffed up. And then he'd just come out with a torch, a little propane torch, and he'd light it. He'd fire it up and be like this, and then you'd just see Uncle Gary take off, and then these things would just start kamikazing everywhere. And I just remember all of us taking shelter, and my grandmother looking at them as they flew over, and she's like, "That's pretty!" every time. And I'm like, "Someone get Grandma, man. She's going to go down. It's not going to be good."
Not Granny Sparks.
No.
Okay.
Dad's mom, Grandma Lorash. Yes.
Okay.
But
it would have been Granny Sparks if you didn't get her away from that shit.
4th of July, years and years ago, I had all these big fireworks where I used to get them out in the country, lit all that shit off, and then there was nothing left. It's the end of the night, 2 a.m, and everybody's shit-faced. And so I was like, fuck, we had all the shit for, like, little kids. We had sparklers and stuff like that. So I'm like, I'm just going to make a giant fucking sparkler. So,
I'm going to make one.
So, because, in my head, I'm like, it's a sparkler. You put a bunch of them together.
It's not dangerous.
So, dude, I mean, it was this fucking big around. Like, I'm talking 10 inches around of sparklers. I duct taped them all together. I've since watched YouTube videos of why not to do this. Because I immediately YouTubed it after I was done. I was like, what the fuck happened? Anyway, so 10-inch fucking circle of sparklers, and I light one, and I take off because I know it's going to get hot. And and it's going and all of a sudden, boom, dude. And I had them stuffed in a terracotta pot.
Oh, God.
A big one, a huge one, full of dirt. So I just jammed them down in the dirt. This thing exploded and shot a flame about fucking 20 feet high. I swear to God, it melted the fucking terracotta pot. Serious. So then I get on YouTube.
You made glass.
Dude, I fucking looked it up, and that's a whole thing, making sparkler bombs. I watched these dudes put a bunch of them together and blow up a fucking car with them.
Osama Bin Laden.
Yeah.
That reminds me about, I want to say 10 or 15 years ago, I was in a different band, and Graham was in a different band too. But both of our bands played this thing for the 4th of July called Dunkelfest.
Oh, I've heard about Dunkelfest.
There's this little town called Dunkel, and it's on the way to Pana.
Okay.
So if you blink, you miss the turn. I mean, and it just, I don't know, 7, 8 houses, maybe more. But there wasn't much. But it was some work people, So they're like, hey, guys, I got a stage. Stage. So so we come out, and there's this little flatbed.
Two pallets.
Oh, yeah. And they had a big banner that said Dunkelfest 2000 something, but the last number was scratched out and appropriated to reflect today's year.
Man, I would pay to have that sign just for the irony factor.
But we played it. But keeping it in the theme of the 4th of July, we played it. First of all, they got done playing. Then we opened up, me and Jeff played the Star Spangled Banner harmony style on guitar.
Nice.
There's guys out there, they got their hats on. They're like meaning the shit, they're full in. But when we got done, it was just quiet, and there was a peacock. They have pet peacocks, and it's on the garage, and it's like, ah! After we got done, and I'm like, okay, I guess that's our cue for the next song. We ended up playing that, but after we got done, they practically reenact the Civil War. They have all these pipes and like a cannon that this one guy made. And you ever see those Vietnam movies where something goes off next to you in your bunker, and all of a sudden it's like, Yes,
Yeah.
It was like that. I was like, holy God, we're in hell right now. But these guys are just walking towards each other with what looked to...
You should have seen Hughes Cannon at Michigan. We'll talk about that in a second. Go ahead.
But I thought that they had like Roman candles, but they got like short pieces of pipe. They're shooting like
mortars out of them.
Yeah, at each other.
That's fucking crazy.
There's
dude.
kids. There's a one-eyed dog.
If you had to pick a television show that you say you've watched more than any other television show ever, what would it be?
The Civil War documentary.
Nuh-uh.
Hundreds.
No, I've seen that a bunch too. I know we've talked a bunch about that.
I've seen that.
You're talking about the one that's the one.
PBS.
Ken Burns. It's
yes.
fucking the best documentary ever.
Yeah.
But
I learned the theme song.
I know you did, but like even more than like fucking South Park and shit.
100%.
You think so?
At this stage, there was a time you couldn't have made me watch anything that had any value.
Well, I'm not saying that.
But I mean, that's just what got me back then.
Yeah.
But at some point, yes, very much so. That is.
Have you watched his other documentaries? There's a bunch of them.
Yeah, the baseball one. Who was it? It didn't hold my attention as much. You know how I'm.
Yeah. The Civil War one is the absolute best for sure.
That's the one that just speaks to me.
Dude, that is my favorite documentary of all time.
Mine too.
Yeah.
But because of how I'm wired, for whatever reasons it is, I'm in a constant conflict with myself. I'll love and hate something constantly at the same time. Mm-hmm. And so a lot of shows, I'll love them and then like, I turn my back on you. I'm done with this show. You were funny once, but now I have to walk away. But that is something that I put myself to sleep to for years.
Okay. So you can quote the whole fucking thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
And there's music that's like that. There's some songs I don't ever want to hear again that I'll immediately shut off if they come on in any platform. I'm like, nope, had enough of that. It meant something once. I've turned my back. But like Bonnie Raitt, the album when we
both
fucking
nights, did that.
Yeah, the Alice in Chains Unplugged. Forever music. That's an island record.
You're still in there? Like, you can still listen to those?
Any of it right now. And
okay, you can listen to Bonnie Raitt. You can listen to Alice in Chains.
Yes.
Okay. All right. I thought you meant you turned your back on Bonnie Raitt and Alice in Chains.
No. That stuff just, for whatever reason, it's ingrained. Some things get ingrained. And the Civil War, not to mention, that is such an accurate depiction that takes you away from the classroom and gives you the truth.
Yeah.
And that's what really got to me when I saw it the first time. I was just like this the whole time.
I know, dude. I was the same way. And it's like, a lot of it's based on the letters that were written from the soldiers that they wrote and sent home.
My dearest Martha.
Yeah. It's so good.
But just the way it transpired, how it happened, what it started at, where it finished out in the same place, where they signed off on it was where they started shooting. I mean, it was just in every little detail that they never give you in the classroom, because it's like it happened and then it weren't, and we all shook hands and had freedom. That's what the school books taught when we were growing up, and clearly that was not the case. But that cracked the case wide open for me.
What do you mean?
I mean, because I was of DPS 61 through the years that you learned that it was a turbulent time.
You mean it cracked the case open of...
Yeah, well, of the facts not being completely included into the history.
Into the history of that time period.
Very, very diluted version of the Civil War they give you in school versus what they give you with the Ken Burns documentary.
It's that whole period, like slavery, like the war itself, Abraham Lincoln, the emancipation, all of that stuff.
All of it.
It's there was a whole lot of bullshit they teach in schools.
100%. And when we went, they covered it in about 5 paragraphs.
Yep.
And then you moved on to the next thing.
Yep.
And it wasn't ever something that I really pursued to look at or think about. We're, in my mind, we're hundreds of years removed from it, and this is where we're at. And then you get a real reality check with this Burns documentary, and I was just like obsessed. And the wife loves vacationing in South Carolina, and They were the first state to secede from the Union, and we actually went to the fort where
I remember
it all fired up. I mean, just all this fascinating stuff, you know. But just to walk the ground to actually see the places and then tie it to the facts and the truth of all of it, just is mind blowing, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, that is definitely something I've seen more than anything else.
This has gone so south of where I
know,
thought
I
it was
love
going to
it.
go.
Yeah.
I thought he was going to say fucking South Park and
That would have been there. Family Guy,
Chappelle Show. You know,
Chappelle Show.
You ever watch the original Human Centipede?
No.
Hold on. I rented it. Hold on. I did. I rented it at like fucking Family Video one time when I didn't have internet. You know, because I was too poor at the time. So, you know, when you're poor,
I ain't got no online.
around around here, if you're poor, then you just go to video. So we still have video.
Back when
stores.
Netflix was a place you went
you
got
go,
a movie from in a vending machine.
or they would send it in the mail, or you go to Redbox. But yeah, if you didn't have internet or cable, then you would have to go get movies. And so I was at a movie store, and I saw it looked like a horror movie that was probably kind of good. And I watched it for like maybe, I don't know, half an hour, and I was like, what the fuck is going on here?
That makes sense.
Sew people's mouths to their ass and make a fucking, you know.
Not that movie.
I paid for that, yeah.
Not that the movie makes sense, but it makes sense that you rented. I was thinking, you know, when we were kids, that's all we did was we went to video store with my dad and we got horror films to watch when, you know, you'd come over.
Your dad had a
spend the
fucking
night.
beta.
He did. Betamax with a remote that had the wire that you had to plug
Yeah, and the
into
beta
it.
tapes were smaller than VHS.
Oh, yeah.
But he had a beta, and there were some movies that only came on beta.
Yeah.
And so we got the beta shit. Remember the old man in the fucking IRS office? All right, we won't. Anyway. All right, what were we talking about? I forgot. Where were we?
I'm talking about the Civil War.
Oh, yeah.
We went way off back.
Human Centipede. Fucking, oh, yeah. So we were talking about, like, you said.
It made sense.
The show you've watched most is the Civil War Ken Burns thing, which I get. That's absolutely.
What about
Me, one TV show I've seen more than anything. I gotta. Oh, you know what it is these days? I absolutely know what it is. Fucking Narcos. I have watched that fucking whole series, and I mean Narcos, the regular one, Narcos Mexico. I bet I've watched that entire series 10 fucking times, and that's a lot of fucking shows. Yeah, I actually learned all the lyrics to the fucking theme song in Spanish. That's how many times I've seen the fucking thing.
Jeez.
Yeah, I love that
Sing it
show.
right now, acapella.
No.
Good answer.
But that makes sense to me because you've always loved gangster flicks.
Dude,
They've
and that
been your favorite thing.
And let me say, dude, like the Narcos is like I don't know how many seasons with multiple fucking shows, and I've seen the whole goddamn thing 10 times for sure. And it's all in fucking Spanish, most of it. Which, you know, I've been learning Spanish for like 5 years or whatever. So like I do love gangster shows for sure. And Narcos is just about the best fucking gangster show I've ever seen. Because it's all true. And they really do it accurately.
Well, you told me about that show, and I couldn't dig it because of the subtitles at the time. When you told me about it, I'm not a subtitles guy. And I'm like, I'm out. But you're like, really? It's so good if you just get past. I was like, yeah, but I can't get past it.
Right.
It's just,
I get it.
I want South Park right now.
Or Goodfellas.
Yeah. Man.
So you had a band for a long time called Gutterbound.
I did.
Central Illinois band. And that's where Chris switched from playing covers for a long time, which after he and I got done playing originals, Chris kind of went back to covers for a while, and then he started Gutterbound, and with another good friend of ours, Tim Woods, and others, David Sample and Jeremy Singer, of course, which we've talked about on here before. He started doing originals. He wrote a bunch of songs, and they recorded an album. And my question was, at the time when you recorded that album, it seemed like that was kind of like, it felt like that was kind of your masterpiece.
At the time, it was.
Yeah. How do you feel about that?
I'm still proud of it. Mm-hmm. We made a little ripple, not a big one, but you know, I was proud of it. We started off as a cover band. We had a pretty good following, you know, around here, not nationwide, but here at home, we did really well. And we grew to where we wanted to start trying to write songs, and half of them didn't even want to. They're like, man, fuck
I didn't
that.
realize you were a cover band first. I didn't.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, not a lot of bands will actually.
I think they gained their following doing
covers for sure. We
yeah.
lost our following playing originals.
Okay, well,
that'll happen.
That's the truth.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I didn't. Like, not a lot of bands are brave enough to do that.
Well, an old
because
friend
you
of
are
ours,
gonna lose your
an old friend of ours told me, for this town anyway, people don't know what they like, but they like what they know. So that holds true to this day. We could go entertain anybody that wants real music that they've written, if they're the crowd that's looking for that. But if you're looking for the backdrop to your childhood in a bar, you can't show up with 3 hours of stuff no one's ever heard and expect not to get heckled, you know?
Yeah.
So we thought, because we had a little buzz about us, that we'd be able to hold it. And we didn't even try and like mix it. We were just like, screw the covers. We're doing this now, but still playing the same venues. And we went from full house to half house to no thanks. Pretty quick, you know? And and within months of the CD coming out.
I didn't realize that.
No, we did. I think the last good big thing that we did was the Celebration. And that was a long time ago, 18, 19, something like that, 17. It was early. Which is funny because we keep having these reunions like twice a year after we haven't been a band for like 6 or 7. But and we don't play any of the originals anymore at all, ever.
No shit.
We haven't touched them in 5 years. We get together for some reason, something will come up and we'll all say, yeah, we can do it. The time everybody lives far away or busy or for whatever reason. And we'll put together the same 18 songs that, people love and that liked us for our cover stuff. And we'll just go do that.
This has been Musicians Forced to Podcast. We're here with Christopher Lee Lorash.
Christopher Lee.
Myself, Brandon, and Hugh behind the camera. Like, share, smash, do all the things. That's it. We're done. Okay, see ya. I can't even say it on here. As uncensored as it is, I'll say, you can fucking block it out if you want. I don't know why this came in my brain, but me and Chris, he lived over in the Park City Trailer Park. And it was the way you laughed, and it brought me back. We were walking back to his trailer.
Oh, God.
And
no. I was a different person. I was a troubled youth.
We were kids, dude. Chris picked up this giant stick.
We're definitely cutting that.
Yeah, we got to cut that. It was the same laugh.